Welcome back, everyone! We are in our final 3-map series of the day. On the left-hand side is the impromptu roll swap crew. On the right is Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins. And we've got some housekeeping to do, so let's quickly get you all updated onto what's going on. So, we're in the Meta Madness style of draft, hence the giant logo. And right now, it is going to be 16 heroes in the group stage day 5 and 6. Today, we're in day 5. 16 heroes of the 90 are unavailable. Those 16 heroes are Anduin, Blaze, Brightwing, Chromie, Dehaka, Garrosh, Genji, Hanzo, Hogger, Johanna, Junkrat, Medivh, Rehgar, Sergeant Hammer, Sylvanas, and Valla. All 16 heroes cannot be picked or banned because they could take up a free ban slot effectively. So that was something that Kaldor caught last week. I noticed he was giving some crap. Not giving some crap, but he caught Sven in that one. So we will see a Samuro targeted against Sven right here as well. The map bans, if you're curious how we got to Garden of Terror, it is the coin flip, I believe, won by the side of Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins. They opted in for first pick priority. Towers of Doom and Dragonshire banned away by impromptu roll swap crew. Sky Temple and Blackheart's Bay banned away by Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins. And so this will be first pick over to the right side of Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins, map pick coming out from impromptu roll swap crew. The last note for the for everything going on right now in this tournament, the bans at the top of the screen do not carry over. The picks are the only things that carry over. So when we start map number 2, 26 heroes will be unavailable, but then you have the bans at the top of the screen, so it'd be 30, but those bans, as I mentioned, don't carry through. So when we get to map number 3, it'll be 40 heroes unavailable of the 50. So Gamble's going. That's all the housekeeping. That's how we got here. We've got a Samuro Falsehead ban on the right side of Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins. Impromptu roll swap crew will get rid of the Tracer. And what? Garrosh. Okay. So that's all the housekeeping. That's all that. Is this the same tournament Kaldor's casting? This is his tournament. He runs this. He's not casting today because he had a possible rib injury. He was getting an x-ray and he wasn't sure if it was broken or not, so he actually, that's why he raided over here, because I think his rerun was done and he's not going to be streaming today. Hopefully he'll be back tomorrow, but rib injuries, they're depending on the severity, they can be a real rough one. But yes, Mighty 9 is the new Critical Role animated series. Yes, it's very good. I recommend it. There's 4 episodes out, and they're all very good. I fell asleep because I was exhausted yesterday. Material first pick on the right side of Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins. TV shows aside. Well, let's get into Garden of Terror, as it is going to be Lucio Maev. So a lot of mobility already starting out for impromptu roll swap crew. You do have Tyrael, which just opens up so many different avenues. You can go dive comp. You can go into a little bit more control. It kind of blends between the two. He does also have some really good mobility buffing. Swift Retribution can be picked up, but I don't think we're going to be seeing that much of it. It's typically Ardent Restoration, Reciprocate, and your Burning Halo 7. That's often the 1-4-7 that I've been seeing, and a lot more Judgment lately, too. It's been a very aggressive Tyrael.
The wait is over.
In the last little bit. Thank you all for the new follows as well. Welcome on in, everyone. Hopefully you're having a great day. Appreciate you hanging out with me and watching the games. But it is your Uther Cassia Tyrael, so definitely, I mean, you could see Swift Retribution with that Cassia to buff her up and also to be able to have the movement speed buff, because not only is it a 20% attack speed buff, it is another 25 movement speed on top of the baseline 20, so you're moving at 145% with a 20% attack speed buff, and I believe it's a 3-second duration, might be 4. Either way, though, could be really good to just run at the enemies. This might be an aggressive sort of run at you, lock you down, burst potential. There might be a mage to round out this draft as well. But it is going to be Malthael to be removed on the left-hand side. Cho'Gall is up in this series. It was permabanned in our second series of the day, and it was first picked in the first 3-map series of the day as well. So we've had 100% Cho'Gall participation in a way. But that'll be Yrel to be banned away. So both solo laners to be removed, Malthael and Yrel. Good camp control, good lane control, good wave clear, mobility tools as well with Hand of Freedom or Divine Steed or Seraphim. The next 2 picks, though, with the Lucio Maev. What do they want to go into here? Is there any silliness, or is this going to be just a straightforward draft? Do we get like a Muradin in this? So Lucio Maev, Sonya Zagara, and then they'll flex their tank. Or maybe they don't tank and it's like it's your main tank Maev. Not a super common play, but it does happen from time to time. Last 2 picks on the right side with the Tyrael, Uther, Cassia. As I said, I really like the idea of like some sort of mage, Jaina, Kael'thas, Gul'dan all slot into this composition really well, and then they can just pick up a solid solo laner to go up against the Sonya, like Leoric maybe. Okay, so they're gonna get the mage and Li Ming, and then they'll grab Zeratul. Zeratul has been popping up quite a bit, especially today, and his single target stickiness or sustained damage is really nice. His wave clear is pretty good. Mobility is on point. But it's a very burst, dive-heavy composition from Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins. And I really could see Swift Retribution level 7 with this composition for the speed buff. Notably the speed buff, but also the attack speed buff on Cassia's Zeratul is nice. There's a Diablo to round things out, which I think brings a little bit more control against the enemy that's going to dive in. A little bit of control coming out from Lucio with the Soundwave, Umbrobind, Medivh. You've got Sonya, Spear, potential Leap, Diablo, Shadow Charge, Overpower. Zagara, she could go Devouring Maw. I assume it is, but there might be the rare Nidus network. Either way, let's get into it. Here comes map number 1 of our third 3-map series of the day. He'll be casting tomorrow. He has a massive bruise on his side. It hurts a lot, but aside from that, he's fine. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear. Also, I mean, just breathing and talking with any sort of, like, rib injury, whether it be bruised, broken, fractured, still sucks. But, I mean, it's probably the least of the 3, or the least worst of the 3. The lesser of the evils. There we go. Also, once again, thank you all for the follows. I really do appreciate it. And big shout out to Keldor for raiding over. I appreciate the support so very much. Left-hand side of the map, impromptu RoleSwapCrew. We've got your Diablo, played by Reformed. We've got Basilio playing that Lucio. BRB Soaking will be on your Sonya, Sven, Medivh. And you got Ucky, the little boy, playing that Zagara. All the way across the map, it's going to be Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins. You're looking at a Nano Li Ming, which is honestly terrifying. DK playing that Tyrael. Banana will be on Uther. Gaflo leading the charge with Cassia. Get it, charge? And Serdath will be your Zeratul. Good skin mount combo. But let's go ahead and we'll jump into mid lane. You can take a look at the 2 talents that have been grabbed. Wowee. And there's going to be... We don't really need to jump out of the game here. We can just leave you on at least this so you can see who's playing what. That's true. That's true, Lucifer. I'm assuming it's just supposed to be Lucifer. I don't think I need to, like, hard hit the Z. Phone call ready. All right, the readies are out. We'll bring everything back. We'll get the pause out of here, and let's get going, everyone. You got another 2.5 minutes on the Twitch Gamble from when you're hearing this, but it's going to be Charge Strikes for the Cassia, Aetherwalker Li Ming, Silver Touch Uther, Ardent Restoration for the Tyrael, and you've got your Shadow Hunter Zeratul. Accelerando for the Lucio, Corpse Feeders on Zagara, Diablo Soul Shield. It is your I always flip them. Furious Blow for the Sonya, and last but not least, the Maisha's Memento for Medivh, which is solid on pretty much every map. I'd say maybe more so on this one with how many camps are available. Creep Tumor spread already. Li Ming heading to bottom lane. She'll just be chilling down over here. Sonya up in the top. Solid cable skin, by the way. Well, not really the coloring, but it's the comic one. See with a little poke onto Uther, as we are just going to be seeing the Silver Touch level 1 already at 9 stacks. Zeratul already finding Regeneration Globe. Sven a little bit low on the Medivh, but Diablo comes in. Zagara's got a Hunter Killer and some Roaches to help out with this camp. Zagara already starts the Siege Giant camp above. Zeratul, Cassia, and Uther will work on their own Siege camp and then probably pivot to the Bruisers just above as well. Diablo playing a little aggressive in the enemy territory or jungle side of things. DK is not going to get hit into a wall swam from Reformed. Siege in the bottom lane for 8. A lot of rapid damage. Umbrobind pulls Tyrael back, but he still has tower line to help him out a little bit. Hug the wall. There's going to be one tower going down. Wave Blades coming out from Uther as well, poking onto the enemies. And Cassie with a few more Lightning Fury hits. And as I mentioned, is that Charge Strikes level 1, not going to be building up any Thunderstroke value. Zeratul just continues to soak up top lane. Early game siege and bottom has been pretty decent. Just trying to take a look at the other sides here between both teams. Zoom out. Alright, so yeah, so far siege into Fort Gates has been really strong coming out from Impromptu RoleSwapCrew. Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins may give over this first objective. It is on the left-hand side, which is a bit favorable positionally for the crew of Impromptu RoleSwapCrew. But who knows with Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins? They've got some good poke between Cassia, Li Ming, Zeratul mobility, or he might just want to stick in top lane to clear out Siege Giants and get another regeneration globe, because getting this Shadow Hunter finished out as quickly as possible is very, very big for Zeratul players, especially with this composition or with this build. You'll probably see Wormhole level 7. This is a very common synergy as well. Li Ming in bottom lane has got some magic missiles. I'd assume Zagara level 13 goes into the Greater Spell Shield. Typically, you do see your Hydralisk Transfusion, but with the Li Ming and Zeratul spell damage burst potential, it might be nice to have that 75 armor. Spell armor, excuse me. So Maiev starts out, Sappers. We have Lucio getting the channel. Tyrael Druin's my thrown in, gets a delay. It is Reciprocate level 4. Umbrabine pulls Tyrael back. Lucio delayed a couple times. Looks like Diablo goes in for the channel. Sven at 50%. Blinks in with the Spirit of Vengeance. And BRB soaking with a few slams onto DK. But Serdath will also get a cleave here and there. Trying to get that regeneration globe off the mage minion. And Sonya right there. She's using that Shot of Fury. That was the audio for it. Singularity Spike goes out. Hits a minion instead of Sonya. I think Serdath was just mostly poking for health, not really looking for a fatal kill or fatal hit. What does Zeratul's quest actually do? So as you gather regeneration globes, you reduce the mana cost of Blink by 45, and then upon gathering 15 regeneration globes, basic attacks reduce the cooldown of Blink by 1.5 seconds. Back in CCL days, you used to see Cure, who was like the big Zeratul player back then. You'd see him literally blink in, and he'd have Wormhole as well. He'd blink in, do a bunch of damage, and then blink back, and he would sit there and like hit camps. He had no intention of actually taking those camps, but he would utilize Siege Giants, Bruiser camps to get that cooldown reduction so he could blink in again. So it's a lot of mobility is basically the answer. Is the short answer at the end of it.
You do it now.
Burning Halo will be picked up. You do have Cassie going to play to the Whale with the Surge of Light. Pretty common build for her. Sonya and Zagara in bottom lane, slamming a minion wave, Banelings, Roaches, and Hunter Killers as well, or Hunter Killer. Serdath looking for a way out, gets that last regeneration globe, so reduced mana costs, and now has more blink ability. The Arcane Orb does not connect onto Lucio, but the reset still comes through because Tyrael got the kill. Umbrabine cleanse. Zeratul is gonna be able to blink away with like 40 HP. I can't believe it. And our second objective is here in the top right of the map. Shadow Charge in, Fire Stomps activated here and there from Reformed. It is going to be Soul to Flame with the Debilitating Flame. No, Eternal Flame, sorry. Debilitating is later on. So spearing into the minion wave. Zeratul blinks back in. A couple autos onto BRB soaking. Uther's here for a stun. That's going to be Lucio coming with a sound wave. Is there a the Judgment from Tyrael doesn't activate in time because Sonya gets taken down by Zeratul. And we got those 10s at the top of the screen. So let's cycle through the other stats because I'm sure you're curious about damage healing experience thus far in map number 1 of our final 3-map series of the day. Lightning Breath, Devouring Maw, Wrath Berserker, Containment Disc, and High Five. You've got a Ball Lightning, Wave of Force, Divine Shield, Might of the Nerazim, and your Judgment Tyrael. Power from Diablo, good cleanse onto Cassia. No Shadow Charge into the fort. Umbrabine does pull Gaflo back. And some... Oh god, what is the level 7 for Maiev? She'll have some Shooting Star value. It's not Shooting Star, but... Blinky. It's like a Loon's Wrath. There we go. Singularity Spike landing onto your Zagara Hunter Killer. She'll step back up. Tyrael Druin's my thrown in. Lucio here. Possibly had a high five available. You can see the green was active, so that's that speed boost in case Zagara needed to back away. A little boop onto Gaflo. The Judgment lands onto this Lucio. Devouring Maw captures 2 enemies. right at the tail end. And there's not going to be any sort of infested drop to be able to get a stack on that Bile Drop level 7. Only one stack currently. But yeah, there was the Elun's Wrath earlier that I was trying to remember. Meanwhile, BRB soaking in bottom lane. Cassia fends around the corner. Li Ming takes credit for the kill. 4-0 in kills, favoring the side of Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins. They are advantage side when it comes to structures taken down, so they've already taken down that top left fort against Impromptu RoleSwapCrew. Our second seed is up and available, top right of the map. I don't think we're going to have anyone jumping for that just yet. There still seems to be a bit of siege priority into bottom. The mini-wave is being pushed up onto Fort Gate. Cassie with a few Lightning Furies thrown in. Zagara Bane links mostly onto the minion wave. Good Tyrael clear in top lane. DK will reset for full mana. Diablo finds a Shadow Charge in mid lane onto Serdath, but Reformed can't make anything else happen off of that. You can see the soul underneath Diablo, or you can even look right here and see the Black Soulstone is full, but there is a visual marker underneath them as well. Meanwhile, Sonya, Zagara, Lucio in the bottom lane are going to try and take down the fort. They will be able to do so. The Singularity Spike lands onto Zagara. Containment just gone to Uther. Serdath dives in once again. Cassia trying to come in for a fend. We do have Sonya zoned by that wave of force, almost taking down the Zeratul. Meanwhile, Gaflo tries to back away, but Diablo has an overpower. The slam from Sonya's good. And the first kill finally picked up on the left-hand side of Impromptu RoleSwapCrew. Are they going to be able to run down anyone else in the bottom lane? The Arcane Orb's thrown out from Li Ming. Holy Ground from Tyrael. Diablo wants to step up into Banana, who gets a Hammer of Justice. And will be able to back away. He does have his Pursuit of Justice level 4 for that little bit movement speed. So you see him land the stun and then run away. He also has the Well Met 13. Which is the movement speed reduction, yeah. Arcane Orbs in the wave. Wrath Berserker activated by BRB soaking. Li Ming hold back by number by, and there's a slam onto her as well. Silver Touch is done. The Lightning Breath is activated. Nano blinks over the wall with 200 HP. Gets chunked down to like, it took like a stray bit of damage or something, but down to like 80 or 90. There's a ball lightning from Cassia. Li Ming is looking for an angle. Blinks in. Arcane Orbs are thrown in. High fives from Lucio. And nobody goes down. Spirit of Vengeance. The Fan of Knives go fishing for Nano, but no connection to be achieved. My God, what a tense fight right there. But no one will fall. Heroic-wise, Ball Lightning was used. Judgment, I believe, as well. Devouring Maw, Lightning Breath are all in cooldown, as well as Containment is 5 seconds to go. 7 on a Divine Shield, and 10 for Might of the Nerazim. 14 on both sides. And this camp will not be invaded, but the objective is still being contestable. Cassia uses Fen to round the corner a little bit faster onto the Bruiser camp just above. Siege Giants fed into mid lane. DK trying to go for the channel. Sonya, Medivh looking to maybe invade. The Sonya Spear misses. Diablo Shadow Charge getting the connection to the wall. Li Ming blinks over the wall, gets a little regeneration globe and a quick heal from Uther as well. We're still waiting on the second seed. Channel possibility. Siege Giants bottom, mid, and Bruiser camp in the top against the crew of Impromptu RoleSwapCrew. We'll finish up this left side camp. 16 gonna roll through faster on the right. I believe that's mostly from Heroic, right? Yeah, a good chunk from Heroic. Mercenaries is pretty close. Minion, of course, is a little ahead as well by about 2k. And passive, since he had that top lane fort taken down. So slight experience advantage by about 4,000. Makes sense. Judgment from Material. Cleansed by Lucio, high five. I heard the Soul Shield of Diablo activate as well. Get some fort armor defense. That does time out. Tyrael using Holy Ground level 13 to block Diablo a little bit. More fire stomps out. The fort won't be taken down, but a good chunk of it is cleared away. Meanwhile, Devouring Maw captures this Uther. Unfortunately, Li Ming is able to jump onto the point. 16 still here in the advantage of Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins. Impromptu RoleSwapCrew. The Diablo's getting a little bit low. He's got that 75 spell armor for the time being. Umbral Bind, Wave of Force, and Diablo's able to get out. Healing from Lucio, speed boost as well. Actually, currently speed boost active for a little bit more mobility. Some well taps to be had by Diablo Medivh. A reset from DK on the Tyrael. And it is 1 out of 3 Garden Seeds for both teams. Next one is going to be spawning in the bottom center. Mid lane camp is pushing up onto the fort. Zeratul clears out top lane Siege Giant. Sonya looking for maybe a spear over the wall into Gaflo. Diablo Shadow Charge, overpower from more control, push off from Lucio, Wrath Berserker from Sonya, spears into the enemies. That's going to be Shot of Fury level 4 coming through. Gaflo getting a little bit low, Lightning Breath comes through. Zagara takes down the Cassia. DK is going to be cooked up by Diablo. Tyrael got 10 seconds off his death timer right there. It is going to be Uther falling. Containment has gone to this Li Ming, and it does have a slight silence. The Spirit of Vengeance. Medivh goes over the wall for it, the side wall, and Medivh will not be picked off. Yeah, I believe it's a 1.5 second silence. Yep, 1.5 second. And with the Quadra kill picked up, no Finland to be achieved. This is going to be bottom lane keep taken down, but is it a GG moment? The timers are still going. They're playing to the far side of the keep. It does look like Impromptu RoleSwapCrew wants the victory on map number 1. They thought about going for Surdath, but nah, they're going for core. Tyrael has respawned. 4 seconds on Cassia. Judgment lands onto Lucio. He tries to back away. We do have Sonya on core with Wrath Berserker. Devouring Claw misses Containment into the Tyrael. Zeratul will be traded for Zagara. Ball Lightning coming out from Cassia. 28% has been gotten off the core. Sonya steps back into this and gets 0 damage because the Benediction reset. Double stun onto Sonya. Firestomp from Diablo is activated. Full Firestomp build at 13-16 as well with the Hellfire and the debilitating flames. No spell armor for the Zagara. She did go into Hydralisk Transfusion and your Corrosive Saliva 16. Medivh in the top lane. Diablo gets a Firestomp to delay. Overpower into more Firestomps. Tyrael, Holy Ground doesn't block Diablo. He still has Soul Stone active. Drunes might throw it in. There's the body block again. Medivh is going to be here and gets stunned by Uther. Lucio rolling on in with the allies. We do have Zagara heading to bottom lane as Li Ming is pushing up a wave. Sonya, I believe, is going to be sent to top. And there's also some camps to be grabbed all around the map, so we'll probably see a breakaway for those. Next objective will be top left. The positioning is good or favorable to Impromptu RoleSwapCrew, so well, you know, it's not a safe assumption that they'll get it. Also with the, I wouldn't say throw on the core, but Impromptu RoleSwapCrew throwing themselves at the enemy core does give the experience advantage back over the Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins, or continues to sustain it. As they will be just about at level 20 with still almost the whole level to go for the blue team. 22 seconds to go for objective. That should be enough time to get a camp or two and, sorry, a camp and level 20. This is potential Garden Terror in favor of Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins. 15 minutes in. We have 19.5 Judgment from the Tyrael lands onto the Sonya, the top lane. She has Wrath Berserker active. That is going to also be Lucio trying to high-five in. Zagara does go down to Li Ming in the mid lane with Cassia as well. Was Ball Lightning used? No, neither was Wave. Well, actually, Wave Force could have been used, but, you know, reset value. Firestomp. Oh, that's a good repulsion. Level 20 high-five from Lucio into Diablo to help him out. Zeratul has a bit of damage in. It is going to be your Shadow Stride level 20 for the Zeratul. It is going to be Titan's Revenge for the Cassia. We do have Repulsion, Benediction for Uther. No, that's not Benediction. Sorry, the Redemption for Uther. And last but not least, Angel of Justice on the Tyrael. Vigorous Vaulter automatically picked up by Medivh. Souls from Diablo consumed. The top lane keep is being taken down. Sven getting some Fan and Eye resets, and that a Loon's Wrath level 7 value. Shadow Orb, Huntress, Mixing Fire, Hellgate, Diablo, Pack Instincts for Zagara, and Sonya. We'll see what she picks at level 20. It is going to be Ignore Pain. Oh no, Diablo! He's got to use Hellgate to back away. Top lane wave is pretty thick. The Garden Terror is still really healthy as well. Lightning Breath activated by Diablo, trying to cook up the minion wave. The core shielding is dropped. The core HP is falling rapidly. There's going to be a Judgment from Tyrael. Ball Lightning from the Cassia. High fives from Lucio, trying to mix that fire. 45% remains on the core, but I don't think this is going to be as defendable as the opposing side, and this is going to be the members of Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins finding victory in map number 1. Great back and forth, a very good game, and I think this series will be the highlight of the day in my opinion, but GG, well played. Well, This is the time when we remind you that if you'd like to support the stream, if you're enjoying yourself, if you're like, man, this Bahamut casting is a good time, we are 8 subs away from our goal, which will be getting a Christmas tree for the Yule stream. A real Christmas tree. I'm not buying a fake one. I have nothing against it. I just refuse to do it. But if you'd like to support the stream, if you'd like to help us sustain full-time streaming, bring you these casted games, bring more fun to the Yule stream happening on December 24th, do consider using your Prime, starting a Tier 1. We do have a great Tier 2 jump scare. Like, I think, like, a couple toppings on a burger is pretty simple. Like, the same thing with, like, pizza. Like 1 to 2 toppings on a pizza is pretty simple. When you get to, like, 3 and 4, that's too much for me. But let's get into it, everyone. Map number 2 in our series. We're going to be heading over to Battlefield of Eternity. Thank you all for sticking out the ads if you did get some. If you didn't get some ads, thanks for chatting about random food with us. Also, Wumpus, good to see you. And let's see what we got going on for Battlefield. So we are back in the mix. We've got... I'm just double-checking that the players didn't... Oh, they did swap sides on me. These sneaky little jerks. These sneaky jerks swap sides. I don't know why players are so vehement about not being able to stay on the same side. Like Sven, I think it was Sven or BRB Soaking one time was like, "What? It doesn't matter to us. It only matters to the casters." Well, like it matters to Twitch chat because Twitch chat gets confused very easily. So let me hold on. Let me delete this. The players are on opposite sides, so let me at least fix the gamble. I just don't understand why this is such a struggle for teams. I really don't understand it. It's a weird one, but either way. Alright, so Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins will be on the left-hand side because they don't know how to stay on the right side of the map. We do have Impromptu RoleSwapCrew on the right side because they also don't know how to stay on the correct side of the map. We do have a Samuro ban. Isn't Varian already banned in the tournament? So... No, Varian is not banned. I honestly thought he was. This is the first time we've seen any Varian action at all. Like, that's actually kind of wild to me. That's very weird. But, either way, we have Samuro first banned. We've got Artanis and Varian. It is Battlefield of Eternity. Lunar... I don't think they're going to ban Lunara. Like, maybe... I'm gonna get rid of Urel for the solo lane control, okay. Because there's a lot of auto attackers. It's like, you can't sit there and just ban out like Raynor. Like it would help maybe, but I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal. I think something like Greymane could be picked up, Lunar could be picked up with Nature's Calling, Cassie was already played, Raynor does have good race, Tracer's available, she's not too bad on this map either for sustained damage. A lot of really good options. Alright, Chen will be picked up. By the way, I did see someone put some channel points in the initial bet, but I did delete it. So if you bet and you think you have a bet in, you don't. There are no bets in right now. Just a heads up, because I did have to delete the bet and flip the sides. But either way, Chen will be grabbed on the right side. We do have Malfuri and Tracer on the left for Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins. With the Chen... What do they want to do? Do they want to go into like a dive heavy comp? Do they want to go into something with more control against the Malfurion Tracer?
Glory to the Horde.
I don't really like. The draft hasn't really been shown because Chen and Thrall both kind of blend that sort of dive or even control direction. Whitemane isn't too divey, but she does have some really good battle value. So we could be seeing her zeal up the allies and they just sprint at the enemy. As we get into the mid-ban phase, still need a main tank, still need some race potential. Could see... Cassie was already played, so that's a blind gone. May could be a ban. They'll get rid of ETC. ETC does have imposing presence 16, but also just decent control as well. So I don't blame the ban onto that one. Right side ban. I mean, I will say this. Cho'Gall is up and available, just saying. Isn't sides... You never... Wise Owl, you don't swap sides ever. That's it. Go back to HGC. You never saw Genji and MVP Black swapping sides. You never saw that. I don't... This has existed in like everything. Now, if you're talking like Counter-Strike, sure, yeah, you have swapping sides because you have T versus terrorists versus counter-terrorists. Like that, yeah, that makes sense. But in Heroes of the Storm... It's a symmetrical map. It's not like it's League of Legends or Dota where things actually matter. This is Heroes of the Storm. You always stay on the same side. Oh, Muradin Malthael isn't too bad. You've got a lot of good control with Muradin, with Stormbolt, Thunderclap, maybe Reverberation level 4, could be Thunderburn as well. Malthael Race isn't too bad. He's also got some great pressure into the Chen as well. A lot of M's once again on the left-hand side. There could be a consideration for a Mei over here for the blind into Tracer, if they want a blind, potentially. And they're not going to, so it's Chen, Whitemane, Thrall, Imperius, Greymane. Okay, that is a I'm running at you and stabbing you and diving you and killing you. It is a dive-heavy composition. First pick, you literally can set first pick to what side. You literally, you actually set that in the lobby. It actually, first pick doesn't matter which side you're on. Because you set team 1 or team 2, or coin flip. Deathwing last pick. Into the Imperius, wow. Deathwing into a Thrall Imperius Greymane is a choice. You can, that's a choice. We've always had Owl. We've always had the literally forever. Hence the reason why I'm yelling about this. That's exactly why we're yelling about this. Get your gambles in, everyone. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope you're having a really fun day. No. It's the only limitations in the lobby is you cannot set the region. That was one thing I asked Blizzard to have as an option a long time ago. This is back when we still had HCC. I was talking to a dev at BlizzCon. I was like, you should really make a drop-down for what region, whether it be West, Central, etc. Anyways, let's get into it. Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins, who are on the left side of the map now. Shake that booty, Nano. On the Deathwing, we've got a Banana Malfurion, Gaflo on the Tracer, a DK Muradin, and Serdath playing Malthael.
5, 4, 3.
I was going to flame, but it's whatever. Chen on the right side is going to be played by BRB Soaking for Impromptu RoleSwapCrew. The also Impromptu Side Swap Crew. Sven playing your Whitemane. Vasilio playing that Greymane. You got Uki on that, on the Thrall. And Reformed will be on the Imperius. Let's see what we got going on. A little spray, a little dead body on the ground right there. Deathwing is going to activate Molten Flame. We do have Rolling Thunder for Thrall. It is going to be Pity the Frail. Chen going to be going into Eye of the Tiger. You can quietly hear the music in the background. Impaling Light for Imperius, as well as Viciousness Greymane. Fear the Reaper Malthael. You've got your Parting Gift Tracer. Molten Blood, if I remember correct, for the Deathwing. A Malfurion. Fresh... Oh my god. A Malfurion. Emerald Dreams and Muradin with Dwarf Block. Sorry, I'm looking at Chen drinking in the bush. Bottom camp will be grabbed, top lane camp traded, so camp for both sides, but what siege value can be pushed in? Tracer Malthael Malfurion in the top lane, shoving onto Fort Gate. Chen gonna try and clear some of this out with the Keg Smash and the Ignite. Muradin with a little harassment in the rotation, but it does seem like Deathwing has cleared out things really easily in this bottom. Slowly clearing up against the Greymane. Lava Burst into Earth Shatter. This is the World Breaker form. Destroyer has that little lunge, the Onslaught, or the Wing Flap, the Incinerate. Lava Burst onto Greymane, who's going to siege onto Fort Gate, is taking a bit of damage from Nano Deathwing. And one armor plate is going to be broken. Back over in the top lane, I was watching in the minimap. I didn't really see any opportunities for a fight, but actually, Banana now getting dove on. Thrall tries to get a root. Malfurion able to back away just fine, as Whitemane Giggle Beam will be activated. Casters make the lobby? Why should I? It's not my job. Celestial Charge met by an Earth Shatter of Deathwing. Lava Burst coming out onto Sven, as well as the tower. That'll be taken down. A little bit of consistent siege out from Deathwing, Lava Bursts, and poke here and there. It has yielded a slight advantage in the bottom lane. as our first objective phase will be here soon. And also looks like top lane, Fort Gate has taken similar damage to bottom. Malfurion and Malthael start working on Bruiser Camp left side. Tracer continues to soak up and top up against the Chen. And Imperius is just standing in some lava. You're on fire! Molten Flame from Deathwing to help out with this camp on the left side as Nana will have some energy building back up. Greymane and Chen in top lane looking to push up this camp onto the Fort Gate. We do have Muradin with the Dwarf Toss looking for the Greymane Stormbolt. There is going to be a pause here. And let's go ahead and, for competitive integrity, we always jump out of games. So let's... Oh, that's the wrong screen. Hold on one second. I hit the wrong button. That happens from time to time. There we go. All right. Has this early siege camp plus wall damage? Yeah, pretty much. It's just been... It typically comes out a little bit later. But yeah, this camp played pretty standard. Fallen Shaman pushed up in top lane. Looks like we had a small burst of lag, but that has leveled out, and we're back into the game immediately. Flying kick on to DK, the Muradin with a little auto attack. Excuse me, a Stormbolt into the Imperius, who lands a Celestial Charge. Pulse Bomb into the Imperius chunks. When I really chunks, it tickles that health bar realistically. Deathwing in bottom lane is pushing up this Fallen Shaman into Fort Gate. Thrall is defending as best he can. Malthael getting a wave and pushing as well into the last tower of top lane fourth. Chen with the flying kick in. Meanwhile, around the objective area, we are at the 50% mark. The race looks like it was good for Gaflo. No, for the impromptu RoleSwapCrew. Yeah, exactly, Wiseowl. It's just it's a pretty common play style. It's not like crazy to see the Impaler camps grabbed and then soft siege into the Fort Gates. Typically they're traded, but it just happens earlier now because of that 1 minute spawn. Indeed. 7 talents here, almost here on both sides. No kills just yet. The Immortals are being raced between both teams, but who will come out on top? It is a pretty close race actually, but. Oh, 61 HP. I think that's the lowest I've ever seen. I think that's the lowest I've ever seen it get. Nicely done, but it is going to be your first Immortal over the side of Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins. They maneuver into bottom lane. Thrall does finish out his level 4. Frostwolf Pack does go in Ancestral Wrath. At level 7. Not Deathwing. Malthael will be picking up the Touch of Death. The Immortal moves into melee mode as it lost its itty-bitty amount of shielding. Earth Shatter, Molten, Lava Burst coming out from Deathwing. Cataclysm in! Cataclysm in, looking for more of a fight. The Celestial Charge is going to connect onto your Muradin just above. Immortal is going to push on to Keep Gate. It's going to get his Angelic Spin, and that's really about all it can do. It doesn't even take down the entire Keep Gate. Molten Flame from Deathwing activated, but he'll cancel that. A Lava Burst onto the Keep Gate, and he looks to back away. We do have that Elusive Brawler level 7 for the Chen. He's going to be hit with an Earth Shatter. Deathwing getting chunked here. Tracer almost takes down BRB Soaking. As the impromptu RoleSwapCrew look to back away. Malthael grabbing another camp at the top lane. What's up, Kai? Good to see you, bud. Welcome on in, everyone. Thanks for lurking, chatting, all that good stuff. If you find yourself here, Caldor did raid us over. We actually had a bunch of raids today, so thank you, everyone. And as always, if you're new to the stream, be sure to drop a follow. It costs us $0, and we have follower mode on just because it helps us avoid the bots. Makes my life way easier. And my mods as well. So with 10 talents here about to be here, let's go ahead and take a look at the other stats. I was just looking to see if there was any questing talents that were still being worked on, but Thrall's already done with his level 4, and I think that's really it. Muradin, of course, will get his Piercing Stormbolt value and such post-level 10, which is going to be half a level, maybe a little bit less. It's a Pulse Bomb on to keep it. No! Thrall does not get taken down. Muradin Dwarf tossing to the side, Molten Flame, Keep Gate taking a bit more damage. Stormbolt lands on the Chen. BRB Soaking trying to back away with the Elusive Brawler flying kick into a minion. A little Hex Smash down the ground. The Celestial Charge misses from the Imperius. There's now a Stormbolt into him. Bellowing Roar, last rites, and good night, Imperius. There's that Bellowing Roar, as I mentioned. Sticky Bomb for the Tracer. Last rites, Malthael, Tranquility, Malfurion, and Muradin with his avatar. Earth Shatter going out right there. 10 talent tier will be your Scarlet Aegis, 444 health currently, 40 armor for 4 seconds. Sundering for Thrall, you got Chen, Wandering Keg. Curse Bullet, of course, makes sense into the Deathwing, and Imperious. Is it Angelic Armament, or are we going into the Sky Suplex? It is Wrath of Angiris, the Sky Suplex. Immortals will be traded on defensive sides. The first half of the race is looking pretty good in favor of Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins. The Pulse Bomb lands on the BRB soaking, slowed a little bit. There's going to be a Tracer trying to get the last little bit of damage, but Whitemane, Zeal is applied, and her Giggle Beam onto Gaflo will heal up that Chen. He'll drink up some brew. That's going to be a Cataclysm from the Deathwing. The Bellowing Roar will be coming out as well. Serdav does have a good target for a Last Rites. Actually, I think it was already used. It's on 57 seconds, and maybe it wasn't a good target for Last Rites. That target, yeah, I mean, yeah, that cooldown's way too high. Yeah, it was used recently. I just missed it in the engagement. Stormbolt lands. Malthael trying to chase in on the Chen, who got rooted. And a little healing debuff applied to him as well from that Touch of Death level 7 on the Malthael. Celestial Charge connecting into Malthael once again. Stormbolt answers back to the Angel of Valor. I believe it's Imperious, right? Almost 9 minutes in. 1 kill advantage on the left side. Bolt Lava Burst from Deathwing. Chen drinks up some brew on the top left of our screen. There's going to be an Earth Shatter from Deathwing as well, looking to back away with the rest of his friends. Celestial Charge that was really awkward. It looked like it was about to hit, but it didn't. Wandering Kick from Chen. Gaff was able to blink away. A few more autos. Pulse Bomb is generated. Cataclysm up in 19 seconds, and Keg is the only other one down for 40. Pulse Bomb lands on the Sven. There's going to be a Scarlet Aegis from Whitemane. Now Fury Tranquility Reformed is going to get hit with a... the enemies are going to get hit with a Sundering. Reformed hit with that Last Rites. Doesn't get a stack over to Malthael, but still chunks enough to allow Tracer to chase in and get the kill. Curse Bolt lands into Gaflo, and the Tracer's fine on the left side. Whitemane does go down to Deathwing Chase, and Murid and Deathwing are going to work on the Immortal as Whitemane, Thrall, and Greymane have all been taken down. Chen drinks up some brew in bottom, but this Immortal will be going into top lane as it is the more well-defended lane on the map. Now the question is, Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins, will they push it to bottom, or are they going to reset and join top? Looks like it's the latter. They're going to reset and join top.
The light of the Crystal Arch shines on.
Well then. Talon's back up. 13 here on the left-hand side. You do have the Wicked Inferno plus the Infernus, so Conflagration 16 is going to be a synergy into all of that. Murid and Bronzebeard Rage. You've got your Nature's Swiftness. Tracer will be picking up the Jumper, and Malthael with the inevitable end for his own self-cleanse. 20-second cooldown on that. Stormbolt lands on a Chen. Pulse Bomb connecting as well. Lava Burst, and an Entangling Root from Malfurion down to the ground, but no Sleep to be activated. Wandering Kick from Chen does activate into this Muradin. Molten Flame from Deathwing sent south side, and Chen does go down to Malthael. Last Rites, it does look like, as he's on his second stack and has credit for the kill. Top lane keep is going to be falling pretty fast here. Cataclysm in from Deathwing. Bellowing Roar pushes Greymane and Whitemane away. Wrath of Angiris abducts the Muradin. DK doesn't really seem to care as they land the Stormbolt, activate the Avatar. Scarlet Aegis from Whitemane is coming through. It is 13 talents here on the left-hand side. Is this a push to core for a win? Whitemane does go down. Chen flying kicks in. He had the Elusive Brawler active, but it will expire. The Celestial Charge mitigated by a stun onto Imperious as he is going to get hit with a Pulse Bomb. Sorry, no, that was Chen hit with the Pulse Bomb. Damage over time. He's going to try and drink up some brew to mitigate that damage, but that is damage over time enough to take down the Chen, so Chen will kill Chen. Deathwing chomps onto Greymane and takes him down, as this is looking like Thrall, the lone defender, will throw a handful of damage, or at least attempt to put a handful of damage into Gaflo. Last Rites mitigated by the Hall of Storms. Deathwing taking some core damage, and this is the members of Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins playing with their foot a little bit here, but it does seem that we are going to have a map 2 victory to the Gaflo Girthy Gremlins. GG, well played. 10-0 in kills. No forts to be lost. I mean, that right there is pretty much what you'd call a, oh, where is it?
Flawless victory!
There we go. looks like we dropped a few subs, unfortunately. We're 13 away from our sub goal. If you'd like to help us push up for that, there is discounted subs going on right now on Twitch if you'd like to take advantage of that. If you would like to start a sub, all that good stuff. We are going to run the final block of ads today. We're going to run the final block of ads. Do consider subscribing, all that good stuff. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting. Thanks for lurking. Thanks for chatting. I appreciate you greatly. And let's get into map number 3. It will either be Cursed Hollow, Infernal Shrines, or Tomb of the Spider Queen. Side is whatever side you're on last. Exactly. Or, as we've always done in Heroes of Storm, always, the team on the left side of a matchup is on the left side of the game. It's almost like there's a bracket, and there's like 2 teams. Anyways, let's get into it. Tomb of the Spider Queen, final map of the day. After we get through the ban phase, 40 heroes will be unavailable from the entire hero pool. What's up, Lord Hakos? You are just in time for the final map of the day as we get into our final gamble as well. Let's get it. Tomb of Spider Queen. Is it going to be a 3-0 for Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins, or can Impromptu RoleSwapCrew find the Achilles heel? Can they find the weakness in the armor to be able to take victory here? Will we get a Shogal? Hopefully, maybe. Mephisto will be banned out the gate. Not a bad wave clear. Really good mobility. Percent base damage later on is pretty nice as well. At level 16 for him. Typically it's W build or... Oh, actually, I mean, you can see the Q build as well. The Abhorrent Skull at level 13 is a solid pickup as well for the increased damage. But either way, what other heroes are we going to be limiting from this pool? Varian's still up. Shogal's still up. They're going to get rid of a Stitches, which I think Stitches on Tomb is really nice. Thanks, Ash Mantle. Indeed, Umber. Indeed, indeed. I'm not a fan of it, but you know what? Some days that's the results, and that's the way it goes. Stitches, Mephisto already banned. Alex, I'm trying to think of like healers and stuff that are up and available. Varian's still up for tank. Arthas, Mal'Ganis is up as well. Diablo's already been played. Garrosh is banned away. The tank pool is getting a little thin. I do think that there's a high possibility for a Cho'Gall here unless it gets banned out. Yeah, right now we're still in the group stage. And today and next week Saturday, the last group stage days. So I will be casting again tomorrow. I'll be waking up at 5 a.m. like I always do for these days. Leoric will be removed with the Stitches as well. First pick, what are we gonna get? Trying to think like what's been played. Li Ming's been played and stuff like that. Kael'thas isn't bad for this map. And it's a solid wave clear, double soak for globes. I was kind of wondering if we would see a Tychus. It was like, oh, just the snap into it. Let's go. Even they're like Tychus? Who's Tychus? I don't care. But either way, that is a first pick Tychus into a first pick Cho'Gall. We've got possibility of a Zul Jin as well. The wave clear would be a bit lacking, but if you kill the enemy, you can take all the time in the world for wave clear. Alexstrasza and Ariel are both up and available. Indeed they are. We might see one of them getting stuck. Impromptu RoleSwapCrew are going to take a page out of the book from Exodia earlier today. Exodia went up against a Cho'Gall, and Tyrande was the, I wouldn't say like counter, but Tyrande has a lot of really good value into Cho'Gall. Huntress Mark. We did see True Shot Aura earlier on, which is a faster attack speed. I think it's a 40% attack speed buff, and it resets the cooldown, resets the cooldown of your Huntress Mark. So you get Huntress Mark, True Shot Aura, and then probably Huntress Mark when that initial mark expires for double duration onto Cho'Gall, and then Tychus getting attack speed buff is not too bad. Tychus already has 4 attacks per second baseline. That's, yeah. So, 40% increase on that. You could go Master Assassin, which would stack if I'm not mistaken. So there's a lot of really good counter value already out the gate. Yrel will be picked up on the, will be banned away on the left-hand side. Ana removed as well. They don't want to have any Nano Boost Cho'Gall, but that does open up the opportunity for an Ariel, which I really like. Resurrection value could be used. Crystal Aegis could be a burst mitigator. So it could be Ariel. It could be Alexstrasza. Lifebinder's not too bad. Globes at level 1 are pretty good. Gul'dan was already banned away. Mephisto as well. Mephisto Alex Strauss has got a really good combo. Maybe we don't see the Alex. Maybe it's Ariel and then some sort of good battery with that. Oh! I like the Zool a ton because it gives you really... Like, Zool could be in the 4-man or in the solo. I think this is a solid pickup because then the last pick can be a flex, which it's Nano in that last pick, so I assume it would be some sort of mage or auto attacker. I think Nano typically plays assassin role in general. You know what you actually could see for Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins? Alarak, dude. Alarak actually would be kind of cool in this composition. More control, the silence as well. There's the Zool Jin I was wondering about. And Samuro, by the way, level 1, Way of Blade, is going to be physical armor debuff as well. And you got crushing blows later on. Bro, this is such a good pickup into the Cho'Gall. Their wave clear's a little but I think it's okay. Tychus has Overkill, which Overkill can be used for wave. Tyrande, Nubrak, Zool Jin, Tychus, they do have wave clear. It's a little on the lacking side. And there's the mage that I was thinking. Okay, so we'll have Kael'thas as the last pick. Alarak would have been kind of like crazy fun, but this is going to be Kael'thas the last pick. And all right, chat, there is your final draft of the day. Let's go ahead and get on into map number 3, our 9th map of the day. Hey, if you've got some channel points, be sure to use them on this gamble. If you're not following the channel and you follow, you get some channel points then. So, let's go. Who even needs wave clear against Zool? Who even needs wave clear on Tomb? You know, these are good points, Stark. You don't have to kill the minions, just kill the core, duh! Alright, final gamble, let's make it a big one. Here we go. Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins on the left-hand side with Banana on the Ariel. Nano playing your Kael'thas, Surdath, Zool, and you've got... Gafili DK. It's going to be Gaflo and Simply DK on the Cho and Gall. On the right side, we're looking at Impromptu RoleSwapCrew with Reformed on the Anubrak. Vasilia playing that Zool Jin. You got an Uki playing that Tychus. A BRB soaking Samuro, and Sven will be your Tyrande. 2 seconds. No one free to House and Jones. Sven! Throw the Sentinel! Yeah, Bone Slicer level 1 makes sense for the Zool Jin. Where's the first Sentinel? Where's the first Sentinel? This is the important thing, Sven! Throw the bird! Nope, really? Well, I guess let's talk about some level 1s as Sven refuses to press the W button. Lunar Flare. Oh, the Sentinel does hit, by the way. Pretty easy one to hit there. Lunar Blaze level 1, so no True Shot Aura for your Tyrande. Going to be having the 30% range increase and the extra damage, but the big thing is that range increase on the Lunar Flare. It is going to be that Way of Blade for the Samuro. You've got your quarterback Tychus, as I mentioned, Bone Slicer for the Zool Jin, and you'll be seeing your Nerubian armor for Anubrak, increasing its Carapace spell armor from 40 to 65. You do have the We See You for the Gull, Shade Zool, Kael'thas Mana Addict, Searing Light on the Ariel, and Callous Tide for that Cho. Alright. For those that don't know, we have a running joke where if the first Sentinel hits, that team wins. And if it misses, that team loses. So it's all on Sven here. This is a guaranteed win, obviously, for Impromptu RoleSwapCrew because the first Sentinel hit. Yep. Don't question it, just accept the logic. Burrow Charge and Impale, followed up by a Lunar Flare. Cho'Gall is completely fine in this moment. Kael'thas is pushing a wave up into the fort gate, and, Are you serious? Instead of doing anything, Anubrak just tap danced right there. That was the little tap dance noise you heard. That was amazing. Burrow Charge Impale onto Banana. Cho'Gall tries to create space for the Ariel to back off, but it will not happen. Anubrak takes credit for the kill. And second kill over to the side of Impromptu RoleSwapCrew. They find the Zoo in bottom lane earlier on. Samuro has some mirror images pushing up, and the Fort Gate is taking a lot of damage. Surdath having to play this a bit safer. As we do have Tychus floating around just above. Okay, no, he's going to pivot back into mid lane. I thought he was going to come down to the bottom and try and dive onto the Zool as we see Tyrande and Anubarak. They are going to scout out Zool in that corridor on the left side, but he should be fine. As Zul'jin will... I think he was seen from the minion wave, so it's pretty obvious that he's on this camp. Sentinel goes out from Tyrande. Bone Prison mitigated by a burrow charge of Anubarak. BRB soaking pops mirror images and sprints away. Down into bottom. Zul'jin still working on that camp just below, and the allies are kind of pivoting down here. Zul'jin a little bit low. He's going to ignore the camp, or at least leash the camp. Zul is going to grab the tag onto it, and the fight continues in the bottom of the map. Tychus takes him down by Kael'thas in the top lane. A very low Zul'jin needs to back off as he sprays. And Kael'thas, as I mentioned, got the credit for that kill, finding some decent burst onto Tychus. We can actually maybe take a look and see what that looked like in the downtime. So a lot of living bomb value. Lot of living bomb value. Repeated offense, jailers as well. You have energy royal for the Kael'thas, by the way. And as we peek into mid lane, he will be taken down. That is 13 gems, my math is right, that will be dropped and have gone down the drain. Anubarak continues with his Carapace build. He went into Shed Exoskeleton, so he has mount speed when he presses W for 3 seconds, which is really nice. And he'll continue into the chitinous plating, right? Yeah, chitinous plating. There's that crushing blows we were talking about as well in the draft. Samuro basic attacks against heroes. Reduce critical strike cooldown by 2 seconds. Critical strikes against enemy heroes. Increase Samuro's basic attack damage by 10% for 4 seconds, up to 30. You do also see the Huntress Fury at level 7 for the Tyrande. Increase the cast range and duration of Huntress Mark by 25%. Tyrande's basic attacks against the target of Huntress Mark bounce to nearby enemy heroes. Burrow charge looking for something. Misses onto Ariel and Cho'Gall, but Ariel kind of corners herself right there. But Cho'Gall comes in with the Surging Fist. Banana will be taken down. And a 4th kill to the right side of Samuro Mirror Images. Chase on to Cho'Gall, but he will not be picked off either. Alright. Edge of Madness, by the way. We did see the questing talent earlier today at level 7 for Cho'Gall. It got completed, but it did not get that much value, I believe. Oh, and Zul'jin going into a very quality level 7 Wall of Bones, but this is going to be Gravity Lapse coming out. Red Web Weavers will descend. First one of the map, as 10 Talonteers coming up soon. So you know what you like to cycle at this point, the stats for all of you. Tame Strike onto the real Samuro. Gravity Lapse, he pops Mirror Images, but the real Samuro is going to be able to back away. Windwalk with a little bit of healing. A quick heal from Tyrande as well. A Sentinel thrown out. A little bit of vision, I think, provided from that, but no connection onto the enemy, obviously. Zul'jin clears out the wave really quickly. Samuro pops Mirror Images to get early siege on the gate. Zul guesses at a mirror image of Samuro's. That will be Anubarak burrowing in. A couple auto attacks do land. Samuro's going to try and... Sorry. Yeah, Samuro is stepping in. Zul'jin does pop his Shade level 1 with that Wall of Bones value level 7. Repeated defense finished up by the Ariel. Knockback range is baseline, but it's an extra 250-ish damage for her. As Burrow Charge Starfall is going to be activated, there's a Cocoon onto the Cho'Gall. Serdap really low on the right side. Ariel does get taken down. And bottom fort looks like it will be eviscerated. As Tychus does get soaked in top lane. Bladestorm, Samuro, Odin, Starfall, Toss-Dingo, Cocoon will be your heroics on the right side of impromptu RoleSwapCrew with the double Gravity Lapse lands, but there's just damage applied to the enemy. No actual kills to be found. Or these counter kills. Speaking of counter, though, there is enough for a blue side Webweaver turn-in. 64 held, 50 are needed. 52 are held on the right side, and 55 needed. A minion wave would be enough to grab a summoning, as it looks like Samuro and Tychus will turn in more than half of what they need. Cho'Gall going for this turn of 33. Is there a delay from Tychus? Yes. It's a couple autos in. Did go into the bigger they are. Level 4 is a big thing to mention for that real higher health depletion rates to 30%. Twisting Nether, Pyroblast, Poison Nova, Crystal Aegis, and Twilight Hammer for the Cho'Gall will be the heroics on the left side. 24 regeneration globes for the Kael'thas. Jailers and repeated offensive befores are done. 7 stacks on your Tyrande. Azul is going to be interrupted by a Sentinel. Tychus soaking top, Samuro pushing bottom. Only one structure's been taken down thus far. And a little eye put into the bush, immediately cleared away by the enemies. Some more runic bombs thrown back. We're just waiting here to see what we got going on. Burrow Charge reinitiation from a Nubarak with like 10% HP. That was a choice to make. A lot of gems. Tychus gets some. Sven gets some smaller amount. There is still enough for a turn-in, but that was a very confusing re-engage from a Nubarak. I don't know what they actually saw there that we didn't. That felt like it was like, yeah, we're gonna die if I Burrow Charge in, and there it is. So, a little bit of delay onto this Tychus. He's gonna get hit with a Poison Nova. Actually, the Poison Nova forces him to reposition. He does get actually the turn-in, never mind. But it is going to be blue Web Weavers descending on the left-hand side by Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins. Zool heads into bottom lane. Samuro going to match. Late Storm off cooldown. Relatively low cooldown, but it looks like it is going to be a pause. So you know what we do here. We're going to jump out of the game really quickly. We'll figure out what the pause issue is, and then we'll get going back into map number 3. But things are looking not too bad for the members of Impromptu Role Swap Crew. They've taken down one structure of the enemy. This is going to be blue Web Weavers descending, so we'll see if Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins can start to build back momentum in their favor. Let's see. After the summoning of the Web Weavers, it looks like they've got 12, 31, 43 of the 55 gems are currently held. So during the Web Weaver phase, maybe they find the next 11 gems needed. But I see they're ready coming out from DK, so let's go ahead and get back into the game, everyone, and let's not miss a beat of this matchup. Samuro pops mirror images, a few auto attacks into Zool. Looks like Zool's going to be able to back away just fine in the bottom lane. Tychus is going to quickly clear out this mid lane Web Weaver with the help of Tyrande. It's going to get some damage onto the fort, but I think the structure should be fine. Samuro tried to back away from bottom. Oh, he is going to be right next to the Ariel. The Detainment Strike helps him get away. And Banana gets pinged by the allies. Mid lane Web Weaver completely gone. As I said, got a little bit of damage onto the fort health bar. Zul'jin in the top lane works quickly through that Web Weaver as well. Samuro popping mirror images. Deathwave from the Web Weaver pushing out as well. Spectral Sight for a little extra clear, but he has Blade Storm from Samuro really quickly. A relatively low cooldown at 30 seconds. Mid lane fight though, mid lane fight. Twisting Nether, Tostingo from the Zul'jin is available. 13 talents here for both sides. But there's just a trade in damage. Oh, are we really going into amplified damage? Amplified damage level 13. Not a super common pickup. Not bad by any means. It's just typically we see your Scythe at 13-16 with possibility of the Mortal Wound 20. But this is going to be increase the root duration of Bone Prison by 0.25 seconds. Enemies rooted by Bone Prison lose 25 armor for 2 seconds. Baseline Bone Prison duration is 2 seconds. Yeah, so it's 2.5 seconds or 2.25 seconds in total now. Pyroblast, a lot of damage. Oh, Nubarak doesn't get a W off in time, and he's full Carapace build. I gotta see really quickly as we're about to siege in here. The overkill is still significant, 655, as the Nubarak was unable to get a W activated. Might have been on cooldown. Yeah. Oh, he had minus. Oh, right. They did have minus armor. I did see that. You're right. You're right. I was like, that is a bit of an overkill. Yo, Day, what's up, bud? Hopefully your Silk Song stream last night was a good time. I was able to lurk for quite a bit of it. Well, yeah, we do have the Ursitating Spines, by the way. Casting Hardened Carapace will also deal 162 damage to nearby enemies, doubled against enemy heroes, as this is left side camp quickly grabbed by Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins. 4 to 5 in kills, as the right side camp is going to be worked on. Remember when I said that they had back-to-back turn-in territory? Well, here we are with 76 78 held of the 55. Zool has nearly the entire turn in with 46, delayed once by a Sentinel of Tyrande. Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins, impromptu RoleSwapCrew on their respective sides. We'll get into level 16 in just a moment here. And Zul'jin's got the big factor for him, no mercy. You've also got the Celestial Attunement for the Tyrande, but we'll talk about 16s in a moment because that is so much damage into Cho'Gall, who's going to try and back away. Gets the Surging Fist. BRB Soaking wants to chase, but Banana will get peeled apart in mid lane by the Zul'jin as our blue web weavers do descend, but losing the Ariel might put a bit of a damper on the siege. Mid lane fort is going to be pretty much saved. I don't think it's going to take much damage because the web weaver is descending into the bruiser camp. Nubrak with Epic Enter. You have your press the attack for Samuro. The big one, the Tyke Grenade, as chat was even mentioning earlier. Grenade build for the Tychus, the 5%. We do also have that Celestial Attunement, as I mentioned. The big one for Cho'Gall is going to be that Leaden Orb. We do have Bone Spear Zul'jin. Or sorry, not Zul'jin, sorry, Zool. Different, same sounding name, different spelling completely. That's Pyroblast. No armor for Nubrak, and once again, he'll be taken down. Tyrande gets picked up as well by the Twisted Nether. Cho'Gall, BRB Soaking will activate some mirror images, but Cho'Gall seems to know which is the real Samuro. Almost gets taken down. And BRB is able to tap well, has the Windwalk healing active. Yes, Bone Spear for the Zool, 12-second cooldown. Leaden Orb's big one, Ignite. You've got the Reservoir of Hope, and the Frenzied Fists as well. For those that are wondering, because we do like to check this here and there, the overkill onto a Nubrak was 880 that time. So, red web weavers will come into the lanes. Tychus has a wave pushed up a little bit, and Tyrande and Nubrak have respawned. They'll be able to join in with the allies. I don't think bottom lane's going to find much value here. The bottom fort actually went down to the Siege Giants. Sentinel across the map does scout out the rotation into this mid lane. Tychus is going to try and step up for a bit more damage. I don't think he's going to find too much into Cho'Gall. Actually, wait a minute. The snare misses. That's a really nice molten block as the Lunar Flare was about to connect. Nubrak was trying to burrow charge in. That's going to be BRB Soaking the Samuro, needing to back away as he got chunked by the kill toss. Burst damage. And an Odin to be summoned. Ragnarok missiles and Annihilation shots are coming into mid lane fort. Bottom lane Webweaver still at about 50% pushing in. Bone Prison on to a Nubrak as this is going to be BRB Soaking trying to back away and making sure they don't spread Limit Bomb. Odin's about to expire. The 77 seconds left on that one. Ludwig from bottom lane is pushed up into the keep gate, and we'll get some siege here, but no major structure to fall. Top lane does seem like the priority is going to be actually from the fort into Cho'Gall, and they'll be able to back away. The Huntress Mark was applied. Alright, looks like we got a boss call. 6 to 6 in kills, almost level 19 on both sides. Cho'Gall uses a quick eye. Gets vision of the enemy on this boss. Uses another one, sees how low it is. Zool's gonna try and step up, gets a Bone Prison to a Nubrak, and burrow charges back in. That's gonna be a Poison Nova. The boss will go over to the right-hand side of impromptu RoleSwapCrew, but the loss of a Nubrak is the trade in that moment. Zul'jin's gonna turn in a small amount of gems. And maybe they can get mid lane fort while the boss pushes in the top. It looks like that's exactly gonna be the case. Nubrak dead for 35 more seconds. Zool is gonna be seen here. He's just gonna be using his Curse Strikes to clear out the wave a little bit faster. Okay. Kael'thas in top lane, finishing out the boss. It gets one tower up the keep gate. A little bit of damage on the center gate. Zool is away, pushed up in bottom really quick. Some Samuro mirror images harassing just a little bit. Going present onto the real Samuro. He's gonna pop his mirror image, and that's gonna be a lot of damage onto him. Surging Fist in from Cho'Gall. Not enough damage to take them down. Molten Block will cleanse out that ensnare. As Surdath tries to turn in 35. Tychus Grenade does not get to delay onto Surdath, but it doesn't interrupt the Cho'Gall. 26 held by big ol' lad. Grab your labs back into a Nubrak. Let an orb has a small stun. The healing debuff coming out as well from that. The, I always forget which one it is. Red orb bounce at the end, reverse direction. Let an orb as a stun. Isn't it actually a Chotel? I honestly always misremember that one. It's gonna be Pyroblast onto a Nubrak once again. He's gonna burrow, minus healing. Does he have Carapace to activate? He does. Cho'Gall does go down the left-hand side. Poison Nova activated as well. Zool trying to back away. Zul'jin with a few more autos. The Lunar Flare snipes. And the members of Impromptu RoleSwapCrew find a triple kill. Nicely done. The level 20s, by the way, coming out is going to be that Twilight Frenzy. You do have the Kalen's Edict. This is what I was talking about earlier in a different series. Each time Skeletal Warrior deals damage, reduce the cooldown of Bone, Armor, and Zool's heroic ability by 1.5%. You got Flamethrower, Kael'thas, Diamond Resolve, and it is the Hour of Twilight. I looked at Cho'Gall, I was like, how is their death timer so low? Level 20 did come through. You do also have, by the way, Amani Resilience on the Zul'jin. Smurl picks up the Blade Master's Pursuit. You've got Tyrande with the Shooting Star, Odin, Big Red Button, and Rewind and Nubrak. Orbs going out. Handful of damage. Onto Cho'Gall. But it doesn't seem like it'll be enough to take them down. The keep will be lost. We're looking over at mid lane is where the pivot will come out from the enemy team. Impromptu RoleSwapCrew, they take the longer rotation through the right side of the map, but they are going to jump in for keep gate of this mid lane. Nubrak is taking a lot of damage and is going to be bursted down. What is boss timer? A minute 26. Smurl pops mirror images to cleanse out the living bomb value. Honestly, which one is it? Hold on, I have to learn this for myself because I always misremember. It's the Enrage Regeneration, that's what it is. Each time Cho hits an enemy hero with ability or basic attack, he heals for 137 over 3 seconds. Enemy hero is hit by Gall's, because it's a Cho talent, but it's off of Gall's Dread Orb as well. That's why I always flip it around. I always think it's a Dread Orb talent. It's not. There it goes, that level 7. Anyways, Zool's going to turn in some gems. That looks like it'll be enough for Webweaver summoning. Actually, it looks like Kael'thas helped out with that as well. Blue Webweavers will maneuver into lanes 21 to 21 in our levels. 51 regeneration globes on the Kael'thas, 23 stacks, sorry, for your Tyrande. We've got 19 stacks for Zul'jin. He's got the 1.1 range increase, but no twin revolve on the cleave. I think the range increase is probably the biggest factor. A little Sakuchi level 13 value from Samuro, able to teleport past the Flame Strike. Webweaver in top lane should confirm the fort. Zool is in mid pushing things up. Samuro maybe has a Blade Storm here for mid lane. That top lane fort did go down. Lunar Flare finding its 24th stack from Tyrande. Here comes your Odin from Tychus and Snare onto Zool. He's going to pop his Shade level 1, and as I mentioned, he went into that Kalen's Edict. Cooldown reduction, Big Red Button clears out the Webweaver mostly. The Odin still has a bit of duration left on it. This is going to be Pyroblast onto a Nubrak. Oh wait, no. I think it might have been interrupted by the Crystal Aegis. Either a Nubrak broke vision, or the activation of Crystal Aegis on a Nano stopped the channel of Pyroblast, which I think is actually the real thing that happened. Odin's about to expire, 65 seconds on that cooldown. So Nubrak is going to try and step up. He has the Living Bomb. He's going to try not to spread it to the allies. Has Carapace to activate. Webweaver bottom lane pushing up. Tyrande keeps autoing and did have a little bit of that Ignite burst onto them. Tychus in bottom lane with the overkill will clear things out. And Flame Strike over the wall into Reformed. Carapace will be active. No big deal, really. But boss is up. Boss is up and available. What is... Oh, wait, no. They're not going for it. Cocoon onto the Cho'Gall. Samura on the left-hand side looking for a way into this. There is going to be Molten Block activated. Here comes a ton of damage from Tychus. He will go down. The flank on Samura is not going to work out. Zul'jin does not get to pop Tostitos, and he will fall. Sven does manage to get a Lunar Flare or that Shooting Star out, and that will zone the Cho'Gall back. But with a double kill picked up by Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins, they're going to move in for boss in top lane. Cho'Gall heroic damage, very nice, 69,300. I guess more so the Gull. Very nice from them. Closest heroic damage on the enemy team, 57,800 from the Tychus. Cho'Gall dominance looking really good here. 11-9 in kills, 23 up on both sides. And the push in the top lane does continue. Samura's going to Blade Storm a camp over here, and then probably Hearth out to defend in top lane with the rest of the allies. Impale onto Cho'Gall. Lunar Flare goes out once again. Keep in mind, you might see some random ones going out because of that Shooting Star level 20 for Tyrande. Somewhat mitigated by the keep defenses, but this is going to be core approach by a boss. The Odin has been summoned by Tychus. Poison Note from Zul as he looks to step up. Some damage applied to the enemies. You have a very low Zul'jin hit with a Flame Strike at the last second, but he's going to be able to get the Toss Dingo. Is he going to wait? No, don't run away from it! Flame Strike on the left side does find Zul'jin. Samuro and Ubrak do fall, the core does go down, and ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be map number 3, our final map of the day, over to the left-hand side of Gaflo's Girthy Gremlins. The Gremlins find dominance, and they will be victorious 3-0 today. A day of 3-0s, unfortunately. But, unfortunately for us, that means my day of casting is over. As I said before, if you enjoyed yourself here, please do hit the follow button. We do stream 6 days a week. I do have a lot of great content. Mondays are typically my only day off. I will be streaming this Monday, though. The rare Monday stream will be happening. I'll be playing Archipelago with a bunch of friends. We'll have some stream together stuff. We'll have some fun shenanigans. So come on by on that. But of course, I'll be back tomorrow morning. I appreciate everyone who hung out. Big shout out to Rav and Kaldor for the raids. For all of you that followed because of those raids, I really do appreciate it. Thanks for discovering us. Thanks for hanging out with us. But let's go ahead and pay out the gamble, and I will get us a host and raid going. Let's find a good raid target, as that